Let us begin with the lesson to serve with love. In that particular part, you have to see that introduction, synopsis, and the actual lesson. Up to that part, we had completed here. So now, Miss Dodd reported on the period of history the class had studied the reformations in England. He told the struggle of men's and independent spirit against the clergy dominations and of their efforts to break from the established religious traditions. So Miss Dodd reported on the history period class had studied reformations in England and struggle of the men's and independence and clerical dominance and their efforts break down established religious traditions. Up to that part we had completed in last sessions. मिस डॉडने इतिहासातील इंग्लंडच्या पुनर्निर्माण काळाच्या अभ्यासाबद्दल सांगितले. पादरी लोकांच्या वर्चस्वाचे विरोध, मुक्त विचारांनी दिलेल्या लढ्या आणि प्रस्थापित धर्म प्रथा मोडून काढण्याचे त्यांनी त्याविषयी तिने सांगितलं. From those early beginning, gradually grew the idea tolerance for the beliefs, cultures, others, and now common interest in trying to study understand those cultures. So tolerance of that people's beliefs, their cultures, and common interest trying to study understand those cultures. सुरुवातीच्या काळातील इतिहासाच्या श्रद्धा, सहिष्णुता, लोकांबद्दल प्रथा, परंपरा या मोडून काढण्याचं ज्या गोष्टी होत्या त्या तिथं घडत होत्या. Donham's report was bit of shock. He severely critically general pattern of PT games emphasizing in serious limitation of space obtained and the effect of that limitation on their game activities. He complained that the PT was ill-conceived and pointless and the routine monotonous. He could see no advantage in doing it. A jolly good games was far better. Apparently, he was voicing the opinion of all the boys, of how they cheering him loudly. So there is some kind of the limitations and all these things. The Denham has to give on the report that became very dangerous about the particular PT and the games. He had to be limited and obtaining space. There are limitations of their game activities and complain about the PT and inconceived poetness, and that became very monotonous. He could be no advantage of doing that such kind of PTs and that games. Jolly Good is the game was far better than that. At that time, the students has to be cheer him loudly. डेनमचा अहवाल जरा धक्कादायक होता. त्यांनी पीटी आणि क्रीडाविषयी सर्वसामान्य पद्धतीने कडक टीका केली. तसेच जागा मिळवण्यात येणाऱ्या प्रचंड अडचणीवर त्यांनी त्यामुळे त्यांच्या खेळावर होणाऱ्या परिणामावर जोर दिला. पीटीचा तास अतिशय नियोजन शून्य आणि निरर्थक आहे आणि त्याची रूटीन अतिशय नीरस आहे. पीटी केल्याने काही फायदा होत नाही असे आपल्याला वाटत नाही. त्यापेक्षा अतिशय रंजक खेळ खूप चांगला ठरला असता अशी तक्रार केली आणि वर पाहता बहुधा बाकीच्या सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांच्या वतीने ते मत मांडत असावा, कारण त्याचे बोलणे ऐकून सर्वांनी मोठ्याचा जल्लोष केला. When the reports were over, Denham called two children at random from the audience and asked them to write the name of each teacher's concluding head on the slip of papers. So Denham called two particular students from random from the audience and write down the name of the teachers, include the head slip on the papers. अहवाल वाचल्यानंतर डेनमच्या प्रेक्षकांमधून 2 विद्यार्थ्यांना बोलवले, कागदावर चिठ्ठ्या केल्यात आणि प्रमुख आणि इतर शिक्षकांचे नाव लिहायला त्यांनी सांगितले. This slip was folded on the place in the hat, juggled and vigorously and then withdrawn one by one. The names were called Mr. Watson, Mrs. Dale, even Miss Philippine Denham and Miss Josephs led to other of the stage and teachers took their seat. Wixton bagged busily untidy between two women. There were questioning began. I believe I would have gone a long way to see what followed. It was an experience which I shall not easily forget. The questions were mostly from the two top classes, probably because the young children were either too timid to uninformed to formulate their questions. In that particular slip of the pages that folded and placed in the hat, juggled and vigorously withdrawal one by one. The names were called. They are announcing the names Mr. Watson, Mrs. Delavan, Miss Philippine Denham, Miss Josephs, and they came on the stage and took the seats. Wexton winks busily untidy between two women. Questioning begins. That time followed the experiences that was not easily forget. The top two classes, probably because young children either timid informed their questions. It means सर्व चिठ्ठ्या धुंडून एका हॅटमध्ये ठेवल्या गेल्या. जोराने त्या हलवून त्या मिसळल्या एकमेकांमागे वर उचलल्या गेल्या. मिस्टर वेस्टन, मिस डेल एव्हान्स, मिस फिलिपाईन डेनहॅम आणि मिस जोसेफ यांची नावे पुकारली गेलीत. स्टेजवरच्या बाकीच्यांना खाली पाठवून शिक्षकांची त्यांनी जागा घेतली. दोन शिक्षकांच्या मध्ये राकट आणि गबाळे मिस्टर वेस्टन बसले होते. प्रश्न उत्तर सुरू झाले. त्यानंतर जे घडले पाहण्यासाठी ती बरीच मेहनत करावी असावी याची मला खात्री पटली, कारण तो अनुभव मी सहजासहजी विसरणार नाही. दोन्ही वरच्या वर्गांच्या मुख्य प्रश्न आले होते, कारण लहान मुले एक तरी बुजरी होती किंवा प्रश्न सुचवून विचारणं एवढी पुरेशी माहिती अजून त्यांच्याकडे नव्हती. शिक्षकांना कोणतीही पूर्वकल्पना नसल्यामुळे ठिकाणी दुविधा असल्यामुळे अडखळत होते. The teacher had no benefit where they caught the stammering their indecision. But here again I received a big surprise. The feelings seamlessly brainless Miss Euphemia Phillips proved to be the coolest and best information of three. She dealt with the question put to her with candor and authority, and would often inverse skillfully to assist one of the other without causing embarrassment. Weston cut the various ridiculous figures in the face of Denham's blunt criticisms, and Fairman's adroit questioning. He found himself completely nonplussed and tried to bluster his way out with show of offended dignity. He could not effectively support the PT exercise for which he was partly responsible as having any definite physical advantage. So, there are the big surprise. The seamlessly brainless Miss Euphemia Phillips proved the coldest information of three, and her authority would be skillful assist one of without causing embarrassment. Weston cut the ridiculous figures, Denham blunt criticism, and Farnham adroit the questioning. The completely nonplussed tried to bluster his or show the offended dignity, and he could effectively support the exercise and physical advantages. तस मात्र पुन्हा एकदा आश्चर्याचा धक्का बसला. दिखाऊ आणि निर्बुद्ध भासणाऱ्या मिस युफेमिया फिलिप्स या तिघांमध्ये सर्वात शांत, सर्वाधिक जाणकार असल्याचे जाणवले. त्यांनी विचारलेल्या प्रश्नांचे स्पष्टीकरण अतिशय चतुराने उत्तरे दिली, मात्र त्यांना अडचणीत न येऊ देता कुशलतेने हस्तक्षेप करून अनेक वेळा मदतही केली. वेस्टनने स्वतःचे अतिशय हास्यास्पद चित्र उभार केले. डेनम बेधडकपणे टीका आणि फॅरनमच्या चतुर प्रश्नांचा मारासमोर ते पूर्णपणे निरुत्तर झाले होते, बावरून गेले होते. अपमानित झाल्यामुळे धमकावणीच्या सुरात बोलू लागले. पीटीच्या व्यायामाचे ठोस शारीरिक फायदे असतात त्यांनी प्रभावी समर्थ करू शकले नाही आणि याला ते स्वतः काही अंशी जबाबदार आहेत. Denham was trained box and insists that such exercises were only the advantage he practiced daily on and for more sustained period. PT twice weekly for 20 minutes was a waste of time, he asserted. Once again Miss Philippines took the rein and his stock promptly shot up the hundredfold. She reminded the school and every subject, including PT and games, had been carefully considered and fitted into the teaching timetable, and so each student received the maximum benefit of it. So the Denham was the boxer trainers, exercise and practice of daily advantages of that sustaining field, and he thought that PT was the 20 minutes waste of time he suggested. And once Miss Phillips has to be run and promptly made every subject including PT games of that timetable of teaching, and each students receive the maximum benefit of it. शाळेच्या तर डेनम हा प्रशिक्षित बॉक्सर होता. दररोजच्या आणि दीर्घ काळासाठी तो सराव केला तर व्यायाम फायदेशीर ठरतो असा त्यांनी आग्रह धरला. तसेच PT आठवड्यातून 20 मिनिटांचा करणे म्हणजे वेळ वाया घालवण्यासारखे आहे असे त्यांनी ठासून सांगितले. मिस फिलिपाईन पुन्हा एकदा सूत्र हाती घेतले आणि त्यांच्या विषयी आदर वाढला. PT आणि क्रीडा यांच्याबाबतचे सर्व विषय काळजीपूर्वक विचार करून प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्याला जास्तीत जास्त फायदा मिळावा आणि ते अशा दृष्टीने अध्यापनाचे वेळापत्रक तयार केले आणि सर्वांना त्याची आठवण करून दिली. The school with its limited facility must be considered in terms of the greatest good for the greatest number and it would be beyond everyone's power to please everybody. Some of you the include fixing Denham with innocent eyes for the fortunate to your own fine and physical development and do not really need to few merge helping of PT and games which this school can offer. Try to remember that there are others for whom our programs is ideally suited. It may be that some of your older boys might even to be to help in that respect. Denham was not to be put off by this sugary remark and rose in reply. The school has limited facilities, must be considered in terms of good and great number, and some of could be in conclude fixing Denham innocent eyes in own physical development. It not need much helping of PT, and afterwards it may be older students might even to able to help the respect. And Denham was not put off this sugary remark and those rose in reply. मग आपल्या PTची काय गरज? शाळेच्या मर्यादित सुविधा अधिकाधिक लोकांच्या जास्तीत जास्त भल्याचा विचार करणे आवश्यक असते. प्रत्येकाला खुश करणे कोणाच्या क्षमतेच्या पलीकडे गोष्ट आहे. निरागस डोळ्यांनी डेनमला रोखत त्यांना म्हटले, तुमच्यापैकी काही जणांची उत्तम शारीरिक आरोग्याची देणगी आहे. त्यामुळे शाळेकडे मिळणाऱ्या PT आणि खेळाच्या अल्प मदतीची खरे तर गरज नाही. मात्र ते लक्षात घेण्याचा प्रयत्न करा की आपल्या कार्यक्रमाचा योग्य उपयुक्त ठरेल अशी बरीच मुलं आहेत. उलट त्यांच्यापैकी काही मोठी मुलं कदाचित या बाबतीत आपल्या मदतही करू शकतील. या गोड बोलण्यामुळे डेनम काही माघार घेण्यास तयार नव्हता. त्यामुळे तो उत्तर द्यायला उठला. Then why do we have to the PT? Why don't they take only the kids who need it? The rest of us can have the game of football something instead of doing a lot of daft things that not good to us. This was a pauser, but she came right back at him, her baby blue eyes twinkling in her delight at this crossing the stage. Let's say it is as much exercise of the mind of it is of the body. Denham's the whole timetable in this school is meant to help you in the world after you live here and doing what you are told in spite of not linking it in spite of the training. I feel sure that you will seem to be a point in that stopped him. Poor Denham knew that he had been outweighted, but he could not do about it, and sat looking rather rueful while Miss Philippine's smile broadened this wrinkling, innocent-looking face and dropped her canary without leaving the tiniest feather. So that Denham has to be replied, what? Why do we have the PT? What don't they take the kid who's need it, and rest of them have to be play of football and other games also. And drafting such a not good to us. Pauser. The word pauser means problem questioning that different solve of them answers. And body blue eyes twinkling her delight crossing the stews. And then whole timetable of school mean that help you would have to doing what are told in spite of not looking in part of training. Poor Denham knew that he outdated and nothing about it. Sat down looking rather away fully. इट मीन्स मग आपल्या पीटीची काय गरज आहे? फक्त ज्या मुलांना गरज आहे त्यांना का घेऊ नये? आपल्या हिताचे नसलेले निरर्थक गोष्टी करण्यापेक्षा बाकीचे सर्वजण फुटबॉल किंवा दुसरे एखादे खेळ खेळू शकतात. हे खरं तर पेचात टाकणारा प्रश्न आहे. पण जो पेच सोडवण्याचा आनंद. मिस फिलिपाईने डोळे निळे करून तिने प्रत्युत्तर दिले. डेनम आपल्याला काही समजू या की जितका शारीरिक व्यायाम आहे तितकाच मनाचाही आहे. संपूर्ण शाळेचे वेळापत्रक तुम्हाला इथून बाहेरच्या जगात गेल्यानंतर उपयोग व्हावा अशा दृष्टीने तयार केलेलं आहे आणि आपल्या गोष्ट आवडत नसूनही सांगितल्यामुळे करणे हाही एक प्रशिक्षणाचा भाग आहे. यामागचा हेतू तुमच्या लक्षात येईल याची खात्री मला आहे. ते ऐकल्यावर तो थबकला. आपल्यावर तो विचार लादण्याचा प्रयत्न केला, पण आपण याबद्दल काही करू शकत नाही. बिचाऱ्या डेनहमने लक्षात आले त्यामुळे तो चचपलला आणि बसून राहिला आणि मिस फिलिपाईनचा आनंद द्विगुणित झाला आणि आळाने निरागस असलेल्या मांजरीने स्वतःची केसाला धक्का न देता भक्ष्य गटमट करून टाकले होते. I began to understand how it was that so slight and create the cold cough and so effectively with her class. Soon after this, as the morning ended and Head went on the stage and closed the proceeding, expressing his pride in all the children and his deep appreciation of their efforts, E.R. Braithwaite. So that became the small particular person has to be expressed that on the stage, and afterwards that has to be program was over and he has to be give the particularly respect honor to their children's, and that has to be praising to that particular students. इतक्या लहान मूर्ती देखील आपल्या वर्गाचा इतका प्रभावीपणे सामना करू शकते हे माझ्या लक्षात आले. त्यानंतर लगेच सकाळच्या संपल्यानंतर वेळीत प्रमुखांनी स्टेजवर जाऊन कार्यवाही समाप्त केली आणि त्यांनी सर्व मुलांविषयी अभिमान व्यक्त केला आणि आपल्या प्रयत्नांबद्दल त्याने मनापासून कौतुक केले. E.R. Braithwaite. So this is what the short review of particular lessons. So you have to be seen here. In that half yearly report program of the student council that has represented by some of the students and teachers are theirs. When all the classes are complete their report panel, teachers would be invite and occupy the stage, answer the question from the body hall and matter arise and the various reports. Throughout all the reports, the emphasis was what they understood rather than on what they expected to learn. So that is what particular report you have to be seen in this particular lesson. Dear students, you have to be solve the whole brainstorming there, write down their particular the describing their characters, the question and answer sessions given on the particular 186 187 and all question and answer you will be solve very well and read this lesson again and again for better understanding. So definitely the question will be asked in your board examinations on this lesson. So it is very important for you study and understanding this lesson very well. Thank you.